Oh man.
You're not doing a press conference.
We put together two really good practices. In the wake of obviously the disaster last week, I think our players' attitudes and our efforts and the urgency about getting things past us and moving forward is pretty evident right now with their attitude and effort and what they're doing in practice. They're being very competitive. They're working hard against each other, encouraging each other as well. So it's been a couple of really solid days. So it's a good start. Got a few more days to get ready, but I like where we're at.
In terms of recruiting, I know you guys focus a lot on California, Texas, and Colorado, but Arizona's got a ton of talent in that state. Is that an area that you'd like to try to emphasize a little bit more? And because of that, would this be an important game in that regard?
Yeah, I mean we're going to have some of our coaches out, down there while we're down there, or be there prior to us getting down there. We got a couple of commits that are from the state of Arizona. We think it's pretty fertile down there for us to be a part of it. It's a part of the kind of the Pac-12 footprint. So I mean it's a lot of schools that do recruit Arizona, and we've always had guys are 2 or 3 every now and then, but I think it's going to be more of a staple of what we're calling our footprint now.
So. Nigel Bethel seems like he's been stepping up in the secondary of late, made a couple nice plays over the last few weeks. What have you seen out of him these last couple games?
Nigel, if you remember last year when he got thrown into play, it wasn't very much, but whenever he did get thrown into play, he always found a way to get the ball, have to get the ball in his hands and making plays on the football. And he did that last year. If you remember the Arizona game, he came in late in the game and was deep in the red zone and gets an interception. And he kind of was doing that in training camp last year too. So I'm giving you that little history there to let you know that he's kind of been doing these things all along. He's become a better player in a lot of respects, not just as a corner, but he's a good gunner for us. He works in special teams and does a lot of good things for us. And he's developing, so I'm excited about the product of what he is. He's a really good reserve corner that we feel comfortable playing with, but he's also, spread out throughout and doing some other things for us as well.
With Jaden Daniels and Rashad White, what does ASU do offensively? Are there any unique challenges there that you haven't faced yet this year?
There's always challenges when you have a guy that's been a 2 or 3 year starter quarterback, and he's got weapons around him. He's a weapon in himself, so. It's a challenge. They do a lot of stuff. He's a seasoned player. He knows where his talent is, and we feel defensively we can do some things to maybe slow him down a bit. But this is a really high potent offense that when they get going, they can do it in chunks and numbers and quickly get on you. And we have to make sure we kind of keep them in front of us, so to speak, and hopefully them making a mistake of a bad read or us making a great play. So we're going to have to do a lot of really good things to kind of keep the lid on this offense, which is going to be very difficult to do.
I was talking to Casey Roddick yesterday, and he mentioned that there's been more drills this week where it's the number ones on offense versus the number ones on defense. First of all, was he correct in saying that? But also, if he was, what's the reasoning?
Yeah, we've been doing that. That's our team run periods and past team pass periods. We've been doing that actually for quite some time. There's been a couple of weeks where, when we had some game planning things where we probably stopped doing it because of just trying to get ready for an opponent. But I would say throughout the whole training camp and most of the season, we've been basically doing it other than maybe for 1 week or so. But it is good to do that. I think they realize the importance of it, and so does the coaches, having good on good and getting a chance to play at game speed, which is hard to duplicate with going against scouts. So, it's very important periods for us. And, yeah, it's evident that we needed to continue to get back into doing those things, and it's been very helpful.
How much have you been impressed by Guy Thomas, the way he's come out, especially these last 2 games?
He's still in a lot of ways a young player, even though he's an older player, but he's young in our defense. But each week as he plays, he gets a little bit better, along the way. So he's starting to digest the information well. He's a dynamic player because he's got some power, he's got strength, he's got speed. He's a unique talent. So, we're glad that he is kind of getting better week after week. And if he continues that trend for a while, we feel he can be a really, really dynamic future for us here in a year or so.
Also in that same vein, Quinn Perry,
JT, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Coach. How you doing?
Good. It's good to see you.
Quinn, he had 10 tackle game on Saturday. You know, he's worked his way into the starting lineup. What have you liked from him so far?
Well, Quinn, that's another guy that's, he's sophomore, but he's been here for a couple of years. Really, this is his first time getting some extended playing time. I've noticed him a year ago, even when he wasn't playing much on our defense. He was mostly our special teams player. I felt he had some really dynamic qualities as a linebacker, and this year he's one of our mainstays in our defense. And he's one of those guys, along with Guy, that's getting better with more experience as we go from week to week, and he's getting more confident with what he's doing. So we like the track that he's on too. We think he can be a really good player in time.
You mentioned Colby Purcell was kind of a game time decision. Do you have a sense for what his availability might be this week?
He practiced yesterday and today, so hopefully he's through the illness that's what held him out. From what he wasn't able to play last week. So he's had 2 good days back to back. So we're hoping he's good.
On that same note, do you have any further indication on Naeem Rodman's status for this Saturday?
He practiced limited, this week and today. We're trying to give him some rest with his shoulder, and he's, there's nothing structurally wrong. It's just him just getting some. He's got a lot of fatigue. He's been taking a lot of snaps, and we expect him to be ready to play.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.